Today, let's see how to install WordPress on a VPS server. All right, there are a lot of ways to install WordPress. Maybe, for instance, on your shared hosting platform, you can easily install WordPress using Softaculous, which is a one-click installation. You can also install WordPress manually without control panel on your VPS server, which I think I already wrote an article about it on my website, jinside.com. You can check it out if you want. You can also install WordPress on a control panel, for instance, a free control panel like CyberPanel, and that is what we are going to do today. So first of all, we are going to install CyberPanel on our VPS server, and then there are two ways available on CyberPanel. We can install it via one click on CyberPanel. All right, after installing the CyberPanel on our VPS server, then we can also decide to copy the WordPress files from wordpress.org, then upload it to the root of our website or any particular folder that we want to access WordPress through, and also run the installation, create database, which is normal for any web application, create database, do our domain mapping, and get everything up and running. So without wasting much of our time, let's get into the course and see how easy this is to do and configure. Now let's look into the concept of web hosting. Just like I said in the first video, websites are literally a set of files and folders that are being returned to your web browser as static HTML or JavaScript pages, or depending on the directory that you're requesting on the website. So web hosting deals with copying these website files and putting it on a public server so that anybody in any part of the world can have access to this website. All right, because after the development of website, everything is going to be on your local host or on your laptop until when you put it on a public server, and putting it on this public server is what you know as web hosting. And this brings us to different types of web hosting. We have shared hosting, we have VPS hosting, then we have dedicated server hosting. So what are the difference now? For dedicated server hosting, it deals with you hosting a website on a full-fledged physical server, and this is very, very good for high-performance website like maybe Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or any high-traffic website that you can think of on the internet. Then for this physical server, this big physical server, let's just say your website is now having a medium-sized traffic, maybe like 100,000 visits or 500,000 visits. So you don't necessarily have to go with a dedicated server because number one, is highly priced. So you don't really need all the whole resources on a dedicated server. So if you have a medium-sized traffic, it's better for you to go with a VPS or a virtual private server hosting. And this is when when you divide the dedicated server into different subsections and you allocate each resources to different individual depending on the plan that they bought. All right, so for instance, let's just say a particular dedicated server that you shared it into like 1,000, and instead of selling the whole dedicated server, you decided to sell it in part depending on the differentials of traffic that each of the persons are buying or each of the clients are buying. And the implication of this is that number one, you are cutting costs that you would have spent on maybe a full-fledged dedicated hosting, and again, you are trying to work on your level, and the little resources that is being given to you, or the resources that you just bought, is only allocated to you, and you are the only one that have access to that particular resources. So no other person, no other client will be put on that subset of a dedicated server. So you can decide to put maybe 3 websites or 4 websites or 5 websites, and the implication of this is that you have full manageability over the server, and you can be able to remove or impute anything or remove any website you want to remove on the server. On the other hand, shared hosting is somehow similar to virtual private server hosting, but they have just a little difference, which is for VPS hosting, the subset of a dedicated server is only allocated to one person. But in shared hosting, it's been allocated to different persons, maybe hundreds of persons, and each and every one of the persons can decide to put like 5 websites on the server, 6 websites on the server. And the implication of this is that you don't really have control over the server, and if SEO, search engine optimization, is of great importance to you, this is not going to be the best option for you because you don't really have full control over the server, and the server average response time is going to be relatively slow because a lot of persons are just dumping things on the same shared hosting. So let's look at the purchasing requirement. What are the things we need to set up WordPress on a virtual private server or on a virtual private machine? The first thing we need is a domain name, just like any other website. We know that we have addresses of the website. Then the next thing we need is a web hosting account. So, and in this video, we are going with a virtual private server hosting. So we are going to opt in for a VPS server, and there are different companies on the internet that sell VPS servers. We have Contabo, we have DigitalOcean, we have Cloudways, we have Vota, we have a whole lot of like Google Cloud and a whole lot of them. But in this tutorial, we're going to use only two. So we are going to see how we are going to configure all the necessary requirements on first on Contabo, then we are going to move to Vota. So because I believe that with these two, you are going to be able to have a clue or an idea of how the concept of VPS configuration is going to work. All right, so here on my computer screen right now, let's see how to get a domain name. There are a lot of domain registrars out there. We have Namecheap, we have GoDaddy. Just head on to Namecheap, and this is the field where you're going to type it. Let me just say JInsights, enter. So we are going to see all the extensions are available. I think jinsight.com is already bought. It's my normal blog right now. So of course, there's going to be a coupon code. I'm going to show you all this 31 off. Just look for any domain name, of course, you like that truly reflect the real essence of your brand. Of course, don't just get a domain name like nanajohnonyekachogonobona.com. It's just a very like long and ridiculous name, so you wouldn't want to buy that kind of domain name in which of course your customers have to think, or maybe probably write your domain name on a notepad before they could remember your domain name. So it's not even making sense. All right, so let's just say that you found this jinsight.org fascinating enough to pay for it or to buy it. Just click on add to cart. Add to cart is just consider it as a situation whereby you went to the supermarket, you took what is it called, basket, and you're just buying things and putting inside. So I can decide to add a VPN to the basket. If I click on this, I'm going to be able to add a VPN. I can add business email, so free trial, but they're going to later charge me, of course. Once you've chosen your preferred domain, and just click on checkout. Then if you have a promo code, of course I'm going to try my best to leave a promo code on the description or the resource and download section of this course. All right, just put the promo code here, then click on confirm. Okay, click on apply promo code, then click on confirm order, and the promo code of course will be applied. So now if you have account already, you can log in. You can log into your account and check out. But if you don't have account yet, you can now you now have the options and flexibility to create a new a brand new Namecheap account. All right, and this process is just the same, almost the same for any domain registrator. Just your first name, boom boom boom. And there are a lot of payment method you can use: normal credit card, debit card, crypto, BitPay. I think Namecheap, they also accept BitPay. The last time I paid for this thing, I think they accepted BitPay. All right, after filling your details, just click on create account, verify your email, and boom, you are good to go. In terms of all the resources that I'm going to drop in the resource and download section on the description of this course, they are coupon codes. All right, I've gone so far, I've done my research and gone so far and partner with this guy. For instance, Namecheap, you can even get a domain name as low as $1. All right, then for VPS, though I'm still going to go we are still going to see VPS, purchasing of VPS server as one of the purchasing requirement to set up WordPress on a VPS server. But I'm just saying that you should use all the link in the description, and though they are my affiliate link, of course, at no extra cost, it is even going to help you to reduce costs. All right, just make sure you use my promo codes both for the VPS, both for Contabo, both for Footer, both for Cloudways, any of them that you want to use. Make sure you check the description and or the resource and download session so that you'll be able to get the necessary discount at no extra cost to you, and as a way of supporting this course and my effort too at JInsight. Right, then now click on create account and you'll be able to redirect to, it's pretty simple. Then you'll be able to log into your account and check out and do everything. And in this tutorial, I'm going to be using normally I've bought a domain. I have a free domain name that I can use for this, both from Namesilo. I have a lot of domain names there, and also on Namecheap I also have a lot of domain names there. So I can actually log into my account now. Let me just log into my account, sign in. Then if they require me to look at what they said, now I can continue. Now look at, now I can continue. I can actually pay for this, but I'm not going to pay immediately. I click on continue and pay. Okay, let me just click on continue. They are going to charge this card. All right, This is the card I have connected. So why is it taking time? Now, this is where you're going to have the option to pay. Once you click on pay, it's going to, this amount is going to be fucking deducted, all right? Just over here, you see view cards. I can be able to remove this thing. If I click on this, I've now removed it, all right? Then once you're done purchasing your domain, you can come to your dashboard, you can go to your domain list, all right? Look at my domain list. This is where all the domain that I bought on Namecheap, this is where all of them are. This is everything. So let's just say, let's just give a try to this guy. Let's click on this. You're going to see, even this, I'm using a custom DNS for this, but normally this is what you're going to see. This basic DNS, this is what you're going to see here, like the normal default Namecheap DNS, and I'm going to explain everything within some seconds or some minutes, some seconds, all right? So now let's see how to get and configure the VPS for the installation of our CyberPanel. So one of the VPS providers that we're going to be using, just like I said before, is Contabo. So no, don't worry, the links are going to be in the description below. So it's going to bring you to this interface, Cloud VPS. And if for any reason they are showing you maybe Cloud VDS, just come to move over to VPS. You're going to see Cloud VPS, then click on Cloud VPS. It's going to give you the VS options available anytime you're going to be accessing this page. So we are going to first of all try this with Contabo. Then I'll also show you for other VPS providers, and it doesn't matter. It's not a must that you go with Contabo or DigitalOcean or Vota or Vapex, but irrespective of the VPS provider that you're going to be using, the processes are going to be pretty much the same. So I recommend this first startup plan because if you look at the requirement for the installation of CyberPanel, you're going to see that you just need just one core and 2 gig RAM, and this is more than perfect for what we want to use it for. So just click on select. So it's going to bring us to this configuration page. So it's choosing this for us automatically, all right, just for 1 month. Then this is of course discount if you want to choose for longer period of time. If you choose this, it's going to be reduced from 5.36 per month to 5.09 euros per month. Then that means you're going to be paying for 6 months. It's still going to be reduced further if you're paying for 12 months at 4.82 euros per month, then aggregated to like 12 months. So we are going for just a month. So we are going to choose this. Then our region, all these regions has good latency, which is literally the amount of time it takes for 2 servers to communicate, to fetch resources that you're requesting from a server. All right, so you choose this European Union, because if we choose other ones, we are going to be paying extra cost for it, and I wouldn't like us to incur extra cost. So the storage, we are going to choose this free option, all right. Then the server imagery is where we are going to define both the operating system that we want to configure on our VPS, and also maybe additional applications. For instance, if you want to install Ubuntu on your VPS, Ubuntu OS on your VPS alongside cPanel, this is where you're going to choose maybe cPanel. If you want to install it alongside a CyberPanel or any available control panel or any available app on this platform, you're going to be able to do it here. So we are going to choose Ubuntu. Let's choose a lower version because we want to run this on Ubuntu. We want to install CyberPanel on Ubuntu. Just choose Ubuntu 22.04. Just come down. I think that's pretty much it. IPv4, yes, because this is going to be like 32 strings. If you choose IPv6, it's going to be a long string of numbers and characters. All right, so this is where we're going to define our password. So let's see if we can, if this meets our requirement. I think this meets the requirements. So the next thing we can do is to click on next. So this is the place we're going to have the flexibility of registering for an account if you don't have an account with Contabo, and if you already have an account, you can click on this and make Contabo customer so that you'll be able to log in. Once you log in with your email and password, you'll be able to click on login and you'll be able to make the payment and check out. All right. And by the way, this course I'm going to show not just with how to install CyberPanel on Ubuntu. If you stay with me, you're also going to understand how you're going to be able to also install it on Saint OS 7, all right, or any version of Saint operating system. So this is just pretty much how to configure your VPS server for the installation of CyberPanel, which subsequently we're going to install our WordPress inside our CyberPanel. All right. So this is pretty much it about configuring our VPS server on Contabo. So the next VPS server we can check out is Vapex. And by the way, you won't expect me to also go over this process because all the processes are pretty much the same. All right. And in this Contabo, once you just finish ordering and making payments within 1 hour or 2 hours, Contabo team is going to alert you that your server is being set up, and then they will send you your IP address and your server login details, all right, that you use to log in to your server through SSH, and you'll be able to start your installation through the command line. All right, so let's look at Vapex. So all these platforms are great VPS providers and also great shared hosting. And by the way, if you also want to pretty much save a lot of money, you can also install WordPress on shared hosting. But since this course is just all about installing VPS installation of WordPress on a VPS, so we are not going to be talking about shared hosting because this platform, their shared hosting starts at 0.6, and VPS hosting start from $10 or so at 50% off. So it's still pretty much the same thing with Contabo for the first month. All right. So if you also want to configure your VPS on Vapex, you're also going to follow pretty much the same thing that we did with Contabo. So it's pretty much the same thing. There is no much difference. So the next VPS provider we can check out is Vota, and I already have a Vota account. Let me try to deploy a new server again. You see how everything is going to be very easy too. So if you're using Vota, once you click on deploy, it's going to bring you to this interface. You're going to see dedicated CPU, cloud CPU, shared CPU, and bare metal cloud. So I will advise you to go with this shared CPU so that you will be able to have better control over cost. All right, so these are the regions or data centers where your data is going to be stored. Let's leave it at the default Atlanta location. So if we come down, this is where we're going to choose the particular server architecture that we want to go with. Is it 1 gig? We mean the RAM, of course. Then the CPU is 1 CPU. And if you compare this with Contabo, you're going to see that Contabo is actually better than this, and they are pretty much the same price. So we are going to choose, let's just go with this $6 plan, $6 per month plan. I think what is actually making it to be $6 is because of backup. Maybe we can look for a way to disable backup. Let's click on configure first. Maybe later we can see how to disable backup or something. So at this marketplace, if you want to install CyberPanel, because this platform Vote actually provided the automatic one-click installation of CyberPanel. If you come to this app marketplace, you're going to see that there is option for you to install the operating system. Just like I said before, you can install the operating system alongside with applications. So if you type CY, you're going to see that there's an option for you to install CyberPanel alongside Ubuntu operating system without any glitch, without any wasting of time. But the reason why I'm going to follow the manual process is because there are some VPS providers that doesn't offer what Vota is offering, this one-click installation of CyberPanel. So in such a case, for instance, if you're working with Contabo, how are you going to be able to do this? Because Contabo did not provide one-click installation of CyberPanel just like Vota. Alright, so I'm not going to click on this, because once I click on this and I input my host name, which is jinside.online. This is just the normal label. And I choose, you see, I can disable backup from here. You too should disable backup. Then leave it at IPv4 so that we'll keep everything okay. You see that it has reduced to $6 or so. Once you click on deploy, this is going to automatically deploy CyberPanel on Ubuntu on your VPS server, but this is not the route we are going to follow. We are going to be assuming that your VPS provider did not provide one-click installation of CyberPanel. All right. So what we are going to do now is we are going to choose Ubuntu. Look at Ubuntu. But if you can also install CyberPanel on CentOS, CentOS 7 or other version, or CentOS. Okay, we can actually install it on this. All right, and I'm going to show you how you are going to be able to install CyberPanel on Cent operating system. So I'm going to explain it during the real installation of CyberPanel. So feel free to choose CentOS if you want to run this on CentOS. So, but we are going to go with Ubuntu. So I'm going to choose Ubuntu 22.04. All right. So once you choose Ubuntu 22.04, then you're going to come down and also do the same thing. You define your host name, then you also define the label, like, so that should, in case you have multiple servers on this platform on Vota, you'll be able to differentiate them. This is just like a label that you give to your different servers. All right. So just choose IPv4. Then I think that is pretty much it. Then you can click on deploy. You can see server is being created. So all you got to do is just to wait for like 10 seconds and Vota is going to create your server. As you can see, the rotating progress banner that your server is being installed. So once your server finish installing, you're going to see this update that your server is now running. All right, and if you click on this, you can easily pause your server from here. But let's click on this three dotted icon and click on view server details. So here you're going to see your server IP address. You're going to see your server username, which is the server IP address is the unique identifier of this your server. Then you're going to see your username, which is root. Then you're going to see your password. If you want to see it in real time, you can click on this. If you want to hide it, you can also click on the hide icon. So what we are going to do now is to look for an SSH client. And if you're working with Windows, you can easily download PuTTY. I think I've talked about this before. Just click on PuTTY download. So you'll be able to download the one that is compatible with your PC. All right. So just come to putty.org. This first link, pretty much. So this is just for managing SSH, all right? But if you also want to manage or work on your file system as a Windows user, you can also use a software called WinSCP. WinSCP download. You'll be also able to manage your files from here. But I want to make everything easy. Just click on PuTTY download. So if you're working with a 64-bit system on Windows, you're going to download this. Then if you're working with 32 bits, you're going to download this. All right, depending on what kind of computer you're using, what kind of Windows computer that you're using. But for my own case, I'm using a software called Temius. So this is actually an all-in-one software. You can use it to manage your file system, both your SSH and also your file system, and is also available for both Windows and both Windows, iOS, Android, and also Mac. All right, so just click on download Tamius and you're going to be able to download Tamius. Then just run the installation file and you'll be able to install it. But since I've already installed it, I'm going to come here and open it. So this is what Tamius look like. Once I click on open, it's going to open. So I'm going to now add my server details and connect to my server through SSH. So here I have one server added. Maybe I can delete it so that you'll be able to see in real time what you're going to see the first time you're opening the software. Let me click on remove so that you see everything. Then let me click on new hosts. Then this is the place you're going to add your server IP. Just come, irrespective of the platform you're using, the platform is going to send you your IP address. You're going to see option to view your IP address and your password. Either they provide it on the dashboard or they send it through your email. Just check your email or check your dashboard, all right? So since you're working with the Volta, we see this is our IP address. Copy on the IP here. Then this is the password. Let me copy the password. Then the username is root. Tab. Let me paste the password. Then I can add this general label. I can add J Insights Online. Then click on connect. Okay, add and continue. So for the record, sometimes you might actually have an issue when you're trying to connect. It might just tell you that footprint is not established. So you just have to wait like a little bit so that the previous footprint is going to be able to clear before you start a new session on the platform. All right, so if you look at this, you are going to see root at JInsights colon, then this hash. This is showing, this root is showing that we are connecting to our VPS as a root user. So let me clear this. So next thing we are going to do now is to just come to your Google and type, and of course I'm going to also provide a link to on my website on where you're going to be able to access this installation code. All right, but if you also want to see this code in the normal CyberPanel website, just come and type CyberPanel installation code. Once you type CyberPanel installation code, you're going to see different websites or different links that is going to be showing you this code. The first one here is CyberPanel. This is a link from the official CyberPanel website. So just click on the first link. Let me close this. Just choose the first one, install CyberPanel. And yeah, you're going to see, just like I said before, if you're working with Ubuntu 22.04, you're going to see that we just need 1 gig RAM. This is the requirement, and 10 gig disk space, and we have more than that in or the platform or the VPS platform that we are working with. All right. For instance, the voter that we're working with, we have 25 gig disk space, and on Contabo we have more than 200 gig disk space. All right. Let's go straight to the installation commands. So the first step is to connect to the server through SSH. Either you're using PuTTY, Bitwise, or Timeuse, or you're using your default Mac terminal if you're working with Mac operating system. So we've done this first step by connecting to our server through SSH through the command line. We've done this first step. Then the second step is to update server packages, which is to prepare our server for the download and installation of the CyberPanel script. All right. So these are the two options that is being provided. If you're working with Ubuntu, just like our own case, you're going to copy this to upgrade and update the operating system that you're using, the Ubuntu operating system. Then if you're working with CentOS, then you copy this instead. You copy this sudo yum check update and sudo yum upgrade. All right. But since you're working with Ubuntu, we're going to copy this first one. Hope you're getting the second step. So I'm going to paste this, then just allow it to run. Then the next command we're going to go to step 3 now. The step 3 is to execute the official CyberPanel script. Just copy it and come. This has not finished running. Okay. We'll just wait. Then it's going to show you these options. The first option is under the CyberPanel installer. The first option is to install. Do you want to install CyberPanel? Do you want to exit? I'm going to choose number 1. I want to perform the installation. Then the second step now is to install CyberPanel with Open Lightspeed web server, or install with the enterprise version, or to exit. I'm going to choose number 1, of course. Then install. Is it full installation of CyberPanel that you want? Yes. Do you want to set up remove database server? No. So here press enter key to continue with the latest version of CyberPanel, or enter a specific version. So once you hit on enter or return on your keyboard, you are consenting that they should proceed with downloading the latest version of the CyberPanel and install it on your server. All right. But if you don't want if you feel that the latest version is going to be unstable, you can type the specific version. These are the version, or any other older or newer versions that you know about. All right. But for my own case, I want the latest version. I click on enter. So I'm proceeding with the latest version. Do you wish to install mail cache? This is actually a caching process. Yes. Click on Y. Please type yes or no in capital letter. Okay. Yes. Actually, you can type Y or yes. Y also stands for yes. So this is now installing CyberPanel. Is now downloading all the necessary requirements, all the packages, all the dependencies, and is installing CyberPanel right now. So this can actually take some time. It can take even up to like 5 minutes depending on your internet connection. So what I'm going to do is to pause this, and when it is done installing, I'll continue the tutorial. So once the installation is finished, this is what you're going to see on this link. This is the link to your CyberPanel. All right, and this is your admin username to log into CyberPanel, and this is your randomly generated admin password. And I would like to say this, that in the installation of previous versions of CyberPanel, you're going to, during the installation, you know that at some point in the installation, we are choosing options like 1, 2, install this, yes, we choose no, remove database, we choose no, install memcache, you say yes. So in the previous version, I've noticed that in previous version, there's actually option for you to randomly generate password. You're going to see something like R, S, and D. D stands for default password of CyberPanel. If you choose D, it's going to give you an option of logging into CyberPanel using the default CyberPanel password, and the default CyberPanel password is 1234567, and that is not advisable. Should in case you're going with the older versions of the CyberPanel, all right, make sure that you either choose S. That S stands for you specifying your own password, then or random. You are telling the CyberPanel or the server to generate a random password for you, which is the what is actually our case here. And if the server is randomly generating a password, it is going to be a very strong password. This is the recommended way of securing your cyber panel. Technically, the server generating the password is actually stronger than the password that you will think in your mind, the password that you specify, and the password that you specified is going to be more secure than the cyber panel default password. All right, so whichever one works for you, you can either choose R, which is randomly generated, or S, which is going to give you an option to specify what the password that you're going to be logging into CyberPanel is going to be. So this is my own password, and once I click on this, I'm going to copy this password. Let me copy this password first. Then if I click on this, it's going to take me to my web browser. Of course, it's not secure because I've not done my domain mapping. Then proceed to unsafe. So our username is admin. I'm going to choose admin. Then password, we're going to paste our password. Then sign in. So now we are now inside our cyber panel dashboard. As you can see, this is just equivalent to our domain name and the port, the cyber panel port number, connection port slash base. So what we're going to do now is to click on create website. Let's see how to create website inside CyberPanel. Then create a website. You can see, click on list websites to view all the websites here, and of course there's no website, so you're not going to see anything. Okay, default. Let's test this admin. Let's check jinside.online email 2017 PHP. Let's choose PHP 8.1. Let's create mail charge domain. Create. So our website is successfully created. Then if we go to this website now, you're going to see our website and our mail child domain. So the next, we are going to now see look into domain mapping and how we are going to map our domain name to our IP address, and also configure reverse DNS for this IP address and domain and our domain.
Hi people, welcome once again. John here, and in this video let's talk about domain mapping. But before we dive deep into what domain mapping is, I think it's crucially important for us to know what the internet is in general. So the internet is literally a network of computers, and when I talk about computers, it can be your phone, it can be web servers, it can be your normal computer, your normal laptop, iPad, or anything that has the ability to connect to the internet. All right. And of course, to connect to the internet, you need an internet connection. To connect to this network I just spoke about right now, you need an internet connection. And this is where your internet service providers, maybe international internet service providers like Starlinks, or maybe your local internet service provider, depending on the part of the world where you're watching this from, where you're coming from, there should be a local internet service provider, because if there is nothing like that, you won't be able to even watch this course online in the first place. All right. For instance, at my own end, I have MTN, which is a South African company. I have Airtel, which is an Indian company. I have Glow, which is of course a Nigerian company, and a whole lot of them, numerous of them I can choose from. All right. So the next thing right now is, how do we identify all these computers in the network? And that is where IP addresses comes in. So each computers on the network, to really know it, we really need to know the IP address of the computer. For instance, this my computer right now has an IP address. The one you're using right now, be it mobile phone that you're watching from, it has an IP address. Then the web servers you're reaching, for instance, I'm on Namecheap website right now. For me to access this website, this particular Namecheap website is hosted on a particular server, which is literally a computer like this, which is a data center like this, a computer like this. So this computer too has an IP address. All right. So any computer on the network must have an IP address that is unique to it. No two computers have the same IP address. And the next thing you might be asking, why do they even need to have an IP address in the first place? So I have just very few answers for that. Number one is to protect the internet, all right, because there is a saying that where there is no law, there is not going to be maybe breaking of rules. All right. For instance, in email, to even send email to you, if I want to send email, for instance, my website is jinside.com. If I want to send email, I'm sending from maybe johnkachi@jinside.com, or maybe mail@jinside.com, support@jinside.com, or something like that. So if there is no way to identify the server where my website is hosted, all right, I can decide to just clip the internet and get people's email and start spamming them. So the IP address of my server need to be known, of the particular server, maybe the computer where I'm accessing that website from, or where I'm perpetrating maybe an unsolicited email from. It has to be known. Maybe the server I'm using to send the email must be known. The IP address must be known, so that the internet service providers can be able to track the way you send emails, all right, so that if you're sending unsolicited emails, spam emails, they can be able to track the server and ban the server, so that it won't be a nuisance to other people on the internet. And again, another thing is fraud, so that anytime in the case of fraud, the computer with that particular IP address can reach out to the company if there is a way of reaching out to the company. Though all these companies, they of course they claim to have a strict privacy policy, but in real sense they don't really respect our privacy, right? So maybe when FBI meet them for investigative purposes, they are going to release your IP address and all of that. So I think fraud, and also to protect the internet, is enough reason for the organization involved to assign IP addresses to different computers or different web servers. All right. For instance, let's make this clearer. Let me go to my system. Let me minimize this and go to my system. For instance, if I go to recent, I can see different videos. For instance, if I click this, you can see first forum.webp. Okay, this is actually an image. I'm very sorry. This is actually an image. First forum.webp. So where is this image located on my computer? So it is located under recent. So if you go to my computer has a name. This particular computer has a name. Then under recent, if you navigate to recent, you see this. Then this image is located under my computer. Then if you go to my computer under recent, you are going to be able to locate this image. Then if you go to maybe desktop, you'll see this programming nuggets. So for you to locate these programming nuggets, you got to go to my computer name. My computer has a name, John's PC. Then you have to go to John's PC desktop, then before you be able to locate this programming nugget. All right, the base part, which is literally the name of my computer, is going to be referred as the IP address or the domain name, but we are going to talk about the domain name later, where we will talk about domain mapping. Don't worry, you're going to understand everything. I'm just trying to make everything easy the little way I can. So the base part, which is the name of this computer, I can refer to it as the IP address of this computer. And for us to locate anything inside this computer now, or inside your physical servers like this, it has to be the IP address slash the directory you're looking for. For instance, let's make this clearer. This is desktop. If you come to my IP address, the IP address of this computer, which represents this computer, slash desktop, then slash programming nugget, you are going to be able to locate this particular folder, which are programming nuggets, all right, which I downloaded. So this is for a normal computer. Then what about web servers like this? For instance, I googled the servers, then I came to image. For instance, let me open this too. I think this is too much. For instance, let's just go with this. So all these, each of them are like physical servers in data centers, all right. So just like the way my computer, my normal computer has an IP address, just the illustration I did here, the IP address slash desktop slash the folder, just like what I said. Then these physical servers too, they have their own unique identifier on the network too, which is also the IP address. So when you host your website on this physical server, it's going to be your website slash, it's going to be the IP address slash anything you're putting there. So just check a situation whereby there are thousands and thousands of websites, there are millions or possibly billions of websites out there. All right. So when all these websites are being hosted on all these physical server with their IP address slash all the resources on the website. So the question now is, how do we access this website? By memorizing the domain name. For instance, if you go back to Voter, you see that, let me log in, I've been logged out. So here is Voter right now. If you look at the domain name that we're working with, the server that we're working with, if I go to server details, you are going to see this is my IP address 45.77.169.207, and this is the unique IP address of our server of a physical machine, just like this one, just like this particular one, all right. So you can bear me witness that it is very, very difficult for you to locate, not to locate right now, to remember this particular. For instance, for you to locate my website, you have to type this particular IP address, all right. You have to paste it, copy it, and paste it on your web browser. And for instance, if I have another directory, maybe PDF or maybe resource and download or free courses, is going to be located under this IP address slash ebook or slash free resource or slash any directory on my website, all right. So there needs to be a solution to this, all right, because when we have thousands and thousands and billions of websites out there, the question is, how do we remember all these weird numbers? How do we remember them? All these weird numbers, how do we remember them, all right? So there is no way we can remember, even if we decide to memorize a few. So how do we know thousands and thousands of websites out there? And that is where what we call domain name system comes in. That is DNS, all right. And this deals with using a particular name to map a particular IP address. For instance, this computer right now, if you host your website on maybe this particular physical server, this physical server has an IP address. So DNS is a process of mapping that IP address to a domain name, so that you'll be able to remember the domain name easier than the IP address. For instance, it's easier to remember jinside.com than remembering this particular weird number, or it's easier to remember site SEO scanner than this particular weird number. So the implication of this is that anytime you query this particular IP address on the internet, or you ask any online tool about this particular IP address, is going to result to this particular domain name. So this domain name now is representing this IP address, but this is the IP address of the website at the background, all right. So to do this now, you need to go to your domain registrar account and copy that IP address and paste it inside your domain registrar advanced DNS zone using an A record. All right, I hope this is um understandable enough. For instance, let's come to, I'm using Namecheap. These are list of my domain names. I can come to this place right now and look for the particular domain. This is the site SEO scanner. Then I can come to advanced DNS, and remember, this process is um pretty the same for all domain registrars, all right. So don't be scared or anything. Then come back here, click on add record, then click on a record. This A record means that it points to our domain name, all right. It is pointing to itself. You can use A record to point to a particular domain, or you can use it to point to a subdomain. So this IP value, let's place the IP. Then under this host, just put at, then click on save changes. Then to there are other things you can use a record to map. Maybe if you want to also map a subdomain, you can add a record. So instead of putting at, which is pointing to the root domain, because at is used to point to the root domain, all right, you can add mail here, mail. You can also add the IP address here if you want to create a subdomain, all right, maybe subdomain, maybe mail.sitescoscanner.com. So instead of saying typing SEOscanner.com, you can type mail.SEOscanner.com. It's going to still result to this particular IP address, but that is not what we want to do. And again, this process too is not really required, but I just have to say talk about the concept. Maybe you can also decide to add a CNAME record, www, and this is used to point back to a specific version of your domain name. Then under the value section, you can type your domain name there. It's not really needed in this tutorial, but I'm just adding it so that we'll know. So the implication of this CNAME is so that anytime anybody type www.sitescoscanner.com is going to result to sitescoscanner.com, and this is crucially important for SEO. For those of us that knows about SEO, this is crucially important so that Google and other search engines will be able to index only one version of your domain. All right, so we are going to delete this and only leave the first one because that is the most important thing we need right now. All right, so this is how you can map domain name in any domain registrar. So let's quickly summarize what you just said now. So internet is literally network of different computers. It can be your phone, your laptop, anything at all. And to connect to this network of computers, you need an internet service provider or an internet connection. All right, and to identify all these computers in the network, all those computers networking, all right, we need the IP address. There is a need to assign IP address. So each computer has its own unique IP address or an identifier known as an IP address. And the reason for this is so that we can be able to know each computer, so that we can be able to solve some issues like fraud, or maybe knowing where a particular traffic is coming from. Or there are a lot of, I just feel there is need for us to know each computers in the network. That's the reason for assigning all these IP addresses. So after assigning the IP address, another issues of domain name came up, all right, because we are going to find it so difficult remembering the IP address of each of the computers that we are hosting our website with. So that is if we are talking about servers. I gave an example of normal system where I talked about my normal system, how you can locate files from IP address, the sample I gave. Then when we talk about servers, there's need a server having also on the network, also being on the network and having its own IP address where you hosted your website. So instead of using the IP address to locate your website, which is far very very difficult to remember, so why there arises a need for us to use something more rememberable. This comes about the domain name system, which is a process of assigning a domain or a name to the IP address of the server so that we can be able to remember a lot of websites. So this is a simple explanation of what the domain name system is. All right. So without wasting much of our time, let's go into our next tutorial. Catch you. Hello and welcome once again. Now in this tutorial we're going to see how to map a domain name. So what is domain mapping? So in simple to understanding, domain mapping is just a way of connecting your domain to your VPS server, to your VPS IP, so that look at the way we access this control panel now using this IP address slash website this. We are going, instead of that, we are going to be accessing it with our domain name. So instead of using this long string of numbers or the VPS IP, we are going to access it with our domain. We are going to connect our domain name with the IP address so that we can be able to, what we can do with the IP, we can also do it with the domain name. We are able to do this thing with the IP because when we are registering for this account or doing our VPS configuration, this is our IP address that was given. So every installation was done on this IP. All right. So now we are going to map our domain name. All right. Let me come to this place.
Let me come. Then this is by default. Once you finish buying that domain name, you're going to see basic DNS by default. This is what you're going to see. But since I'm serving SSL using Cloudflare, my DNS provider is not Namecheap, but rather Cloudflare, of which maybe in another tutorial, or maybe when I'm going to shoot a course on how to, of course, I'm going to drop the course very, very soon, immediately after publishing this course. I'm going to publish it on Udemy, on this Udemy, on how to install WordPress manually without control panel. And I promise you, after doing the course, you are going to know everything virtually about web hosting and all the concept in general. All right. But for now, let's go with Namecheap basic hosting so that you get used to things. Let me save changes. So this is how your site, your domain registrar account is going to be. All right. Then just click on advanced DNS. And remember, even after this update, it's going to take a little while for the DNS record to propagate around all the servers around the world. And just click on this, delete. If you see maybe any packing strings or something around this add record or advanced DNS, just make sure you delete and empty everything. Those are default CNAME that Namecheap just added there, so that since you've not hosted your website, once you click on your domain name, it's going to redirect to Namecheap website, even though your domain name without hosting it. All right. So what we are going to do now is to click on add new record. All right. Then the record we are going to put now, since we want to point our domain name to our VPS IP, we are going to use a record known as a record. For instance, if you scroll down here, you're going to see the different types of record that we have in stock here. This a record, just choose a record. Then this A record is used to point to a domain, a root domain, or a subdomain. All right. So since we want to access our website through jinside.com, not maybe mail.jinside.com, we are going to put at here. Then you copy your VPS IP and put here. All right. Let's say Control V. This is my VPS IP, of course. You click on Save Changes. So if you want your website to be accessed on mail. All right, mail.jinside.online, instead of this, you're going to put, instead of at, you're going to do maybe mail. Then you also point your VPS IP. So instead of accessing your WordPress website through jinside.online, you're accessing it on mail.jinside.online. I hope you're getting the point. Another thing is that inside your domain, anything you're doing, any link you want to use to access your website, you must define it inside your VPS server or your host. All right. So when we are trying to purchase our VPS server, we are going to define our host name to be mail.jinside.online if that is what we want to use. And if we are doing the domain map, we are still going to use an A record to also map it. All right. I hope everything is clear right now. So since we are not installing this on a subdomain, I'm going to remove this and use the normal at. Then save changes. Then I'm going to add another record right now. The next record I'm going to add is known as the CNAME record. And what does this do? You see within a twinkling of an eye now. So I'm going to, under the host station, I'm going to put www. Then I'm going to put the website there. And I'm going to explain the reason why I'm doing this. Then save changes. Then the implication of this is that we want to have only one version of our domain name. We don't want to have maybe jinside.com, jinside.online, www.jinside.online. Then we have jinside.online. So the essence of what we just did now is so that if anybody type www.jinside.online, is going to redirect automatically to jinside.online. All right, so that even when search engine is indexing the content of our WordPress website, it will be indexing it as one website. The reason why we are doing this is so that search engine will have only one version of our domain name. That is one. Then search engine 2, they can only index one version of anything, of all our directories, of anything we have in our website. All right. For instance, if we write a post about how to make money online, the search engine are going to index, instead of indexing www.jinside.online/make-money-online, which is the URL of the post or the slug of the post, and also indexing jinside.online/make-money-online. These are two different ways search engine sees website versions. So know that you are also the owner of both www.jnside.online and jside.online. So search engine, if they index all those two websites, they are going to index the same page, and you are going to be competing, literally be competing with yourself on the same search result. All right, and we wouldn't want something like that. All right, and so for some people that SEO are not of great importance to them, this step is also very very important. So anybody that type www.jinside.online is going to be redirected to jinside.online. So it's also very very okay and very very sensible to do that. All right, I just made this explanation so that we'll be taking little time so that our DNS will be able to propagate. So I think for now we are going to stop here. In the next tutorial we are going to, so that the tutorial won't be really long, we are going to see how to install WordPress, like copy our WordPress files and install it on the VPS on this control panel. All right, see you in the next video. Welcome back. Now let's see how we can install WordPress on our control panel. All right, so the next thing we have to do now is to get our WordPress file. And where do we get our WordPress file? You can get it from wordpress.org. Just head on to wordpress.org and download the latest version of WordPress. You are going to see the latest version of WordPress there. Just type word. So you're going to see the latest version of WordPress. If you're on the home page, just click on Get WordPress or something, then download WordPress. So WordPress has downloaded. All right. So what I'm going to do now, okay, it's still downloading. So we're going to wait for it to finish downloading. Then we'll continue with our installation. So our WordPress file has just finished downloading. So what we have to do now, we need to go back to this place now and upload our WordPress file. All right. Just click on Manage. And as you can see, we have a server self-signed SSL of 3,649 days. All right, so by default we're going to have SSL installed. So let's go down and locate file. Let me show you another way to install WordPress. Just come to App Installer, open. So here you can type your blog detail, login detail, password, email, and the path. Just leave it like that. Since you want to install WordPress on the root of your VPS, then click install. But this is not the way I want us to do it. Then just close this. You can use that method. All right. Then just close this. Then they come and File Manager. Open File Manager. Once you open my file manager, you're going to see public_html. So this is the root of our website. Just open it. You see index, then you can delete this index.html. Delete. Then this place you are going to upload our WordPress files. All right. So we are going to drag. We have the file here. We can drag from here to here. So then we can upload. Let's see what happens. Boo, it's running. Confirm. We now have our WordPress file uploaded. So here now we're going to, the next thing we're going to do is to extract this file. Just click on this, then come to this place. You see extract, or just right click. You're going to get the extract option. All right. Then click on extract. You can see we are extracting this under this folder, or this folder public_html. Extract. Confirm. Look at our website file now. It's been extracted. Just click on it right now. Then come to delete. We want to delete this. Then make sure that you click on this keep trashing so that you'll be able to skip all trashes. All right. Then click on this. You've deleted the zip file. All right. Then if you open this now, you're going to see all the WordPress file. These are the content of your WordPress file. This WP admin, this WP content, where all the content of your website are being stored. license. I don't know license.txt. I don't know if this is the normal license. Then this is your main WordPress config file, wp-config-sample.php. But let's go back. Then if you go to your let's go back. To locate all these WordPress file now, you have to put slash WordPress. All these WordPress files are under the folder WordPress. So to locate this thing now, all those WordPress files now, you have to type jinsites.online slash WordPress. Click on enter. Confirm. Now we are now on the installation directly of WordPress. All right. Remember, if we happen to install WordPress here, what we are doing is that our WordPress website, we are going to be accessing it via jinsite.online slash WordPress. All right, and that is not what we are routing to do. So what we have to do now is to go back and move all those files to our root folder so that we can be able to access our WordPress website on the root of the website or the root of our server. All right, let me close this again. Let's come back, open all these, then select all the files. Make sure you select all the files. Look at this option for select all. Just click on select all. Everything has been selected. Then move. Then you come to this place now and delete WordPress. Now WordPress is being deleted. It means that everything, all those files now have been moved to public_html, which is the root of our server, which is literally our domain name, which is jinsight-online. Then move. Click on move. You see that everything has been moved, successfully moved. Look at it here. Then go back. Then if you open this WordPress file now, you see that it's now empty. As you can see, it's empty. Then go back again. Then this, now you can choose to delete this. It's practically useless. This WordPress folder is practically useless. Just click on delete. Already skip trace so that it won't leave any trace on the server. So if we come now and type jinsite.online, if you click on enter, we are going to be redirected to our WordPress installer. All right, we are going to be redirected to our WordPress installer. So now for us to finish up, here is the place you're going to be able to choose your language: United States English, continue. Then this is the place where you have to submit your database. Look at, they say welcome to WordPress. Before getting started, you need to know the following: database name, username, password, database host, which is literally our local host because we are hosting it on our VPS server. We are not hosting it elsewhere. So let's click on let's go. Then we'll go back now and create our database. So this database is just like any web application. We need database to run any web application, be it a software, an email marketing application, or most applications on the web. We need a database where data are going to be stored for easy backup. All right, so let's go back and you see database. Let's check database. See database, then create database. Let's click on create database. So choose the website which you want to create database for. Then database name, let's say WordPress. Let's copy the same database so that we make things easy for us. Then the password, yeah. Then create database. Yeah, then this is our database successfully created. Let's copy it, Ctrl+C, then come back to this place, then input the database name, Ctrl+V, database username, then the password. Now the password 3 4 5 6 so then we click on submit right now. So we click on submit. Then the next thing we got to do now is to click on run installation. All right, run installation. Wow, everything now is now ready. Then this is the title. This is the place where you have the option to input the title of your website. Let me just say J Insight blog blog. Then username, let's just username, of course, which you'll be using to log in. All right. I just try to, that the default username for WordPress is admin. Just try. I recommend you change it for security reasons. All right. Just change them. Just say John. Then this place now. Then just input a custom password. Then email. Let me just put any email. Then this option now, if you don't want search engine to index your website, all right, you can tick this option. Discourage search engine from indexing this site. It is up to search engine to honor this request. So that means it's not automatic, all right. Then click on install WordPress. Confirm, we have now successfully installed WordPress. Just click on log into WordPress. Then now we can put our username. Then login. Now confirm, we are now inside our WordPress website. Then if you just visit jinside.online, jinside.online, or let's remove this. jinside.online. You see, we are now on our website, right? The new website that we just installed, right? The WordPress website that we just installed. So this is how you can install WordPress manually. So now that our WordPress has been installed, if you look at this place, you are going to see that our WordPress website is not secured. So the next thing we are going to do is to look at is not secured. The next thing we are going to do is to issue SSL certificate to this server to ensure that anybody visiting jinside.online that the website is secured. And how do we do this? Let's go back to CyberPanel. Let's go back. You look for SSL. This is SSL, not this SSL v2. SSL, then manage SSL. Manage SSL. Then choose the website which you want to issue. So if you have more than one website that you created on this CyberPanel, you can choose the particular one that you want to install. SSL on. So this jinside.online, that is the domain that I want to install SSL. Just click on issue SSL. SSL has been issued to jinside.online. If we go back now and reload, if it didn't show up, we are going to maybe open it in a new. Let's try opening it again. jinside.online. As you can see, it is of course secure now. As you can see, connection is secured. Your information, for example, password or credit card numbers is private when it is sent to this website, so it is secured. Then to test this again, we can open incognito browsing, jinside.online, enter on incognito browsing. As you can see, it is also secured right now. Let's go back again. Let me show you how to. Let's go back. Let's access our WordPress backend once again. 1, 2. Remember me, login. And as you can see, it is secure right now. So for you to secure your server, just come here and choose the domain that you want to issue SSL to, and click on issue SSL, and you'll be able to issue SSL to your server. So at this left hand side, your the place where any application, maybe any plugin that you install or themes that you install on WordPress is going to appear, all right? So, and for this SSL, there's still another way that you can use to install SSL. Maybe if you go to plugin, just look for a way and install a plugin known as really simple SSL or simple really SSL, I don't know, and you'll be able to run it on the interface and you'll be able to install SSL certificates if the server issuance did not work for you. All right, and for backing up your WordPress website, you can look for a, let's just do it together right now. Go to plugin, add new. Let's look for a plugin known as Updraft. All right, it's actually a very very popular plugin, Updraft. Yeah, look at the plugin. As you can see, 3+ million active installations. So, and this is actually a plugin I use for backup on my website. You just click on install, install, then activate. Is installed now. Activate. Then now confirm. Now you can, to configure this plugin, just come to settings. I'm just trying to show how to do this plugin. All right. Then if I've already backed up Online before, you can actually restore backup, all right? Maybe by clicking scan remove storage, it's going to, all the backup that has been done on this website is going to appear on this page. Then if you want to back up now, you can click on backup now and everything is going to back up. It's going to ask you whether all these backup, including the database, the site files. Click on backup and it's going to run the all the backup right now and back up your WordPress website. This backup has finished running. Just click on close. Just try to play around it and set your backup frequency, all right, and also set your backup location. I think you can do all these things here. If you want to set up your um backups, you can choose manually, or maybe, okay, you can do it every backup weekly. Database backup, you can back it up weekly. This is the backup frequency you are trying to do now. Then what you're trying to do now is that every week that this website should be backup, the file should be backup, the database should be backup, and that the any place that the files are being stored, that it should be retained there for 2 weeks, all right, before they automatically delete it. And you know that every week it will be backing up every week. So it's normal practice to leave it each file there for 2 weeks before it's automatically deleted. Then this is the place you can choose the location where you want the backup to take place, all right. Then we can easily choose Google Drive, all right. Once you choose Google Drive, we click on save changes. If you once you click on save changes, it's going to prompt you to sign into your Google account, the Google account that you want all the WordPress files to be backed up to. And with this, you're literally done with everything in this course, and everything we have to say in this course on how to install WordPress manually. So to this end, I'm really really grateful to you for coming this far with me. All right, catch you.